Hey YouTube, welcome back to the channel, TÉCNICA-RC, and I wanted to do a follow-up video to the breakdown video that I made before about my RC10-4MID. There were a couple of concerns, a couple of suggestions, a couple of things that people pointed out, and I just wanted to address some of them. The biggest concern when I made the short video of me testing the electronics, as you can see, I installed a servo, speed controller, receiver, so the car is fully functional and it's running. I put a 10.5 motor in it, and it works. You know, it powers up. But one of the main concerns that people had was the amount of tow out that was showing in the video. There's a lot of tow out before. So the problem was that when I made the B1.5, let me grab it real quick. When I built this car, due to the way the transmission is mounted, it's too close to the steering linkage right here. The transmission is too close, so the only way I could run this and get full throw both ways was to mount the steering turnbuckle on the bottom of the spindle. That way, because if I mount it on the top, it'll be too high. Gives me too much toe in on full droop or up travel, sorry. So the only way I could possibly mount this is on the bottom of the spindle, and I still get a little bit of toe out on down travel or full droop. I get a little bit of toe out, as you can see. So it's all due to the lack of space that I had here in between the steering linkage and the transmission case. That's on my B1.5. So I'll put this back. So on my RC10-4MID, I started with that formula. I started with putting the steering turnbuckles on the bottom, right? And when it was a full droop, I had a lot of toe out because it would pull the spindles in because it was too short. See, they were mounted on the bottom. But I didn't take into account that I took kick up out of this nose plate. So I had a lot more room in between the steering linkage and the transmission case. So I didn't need to mount the turnbuckle on the bottom. So what I did was I added, in order for me to mount the turnbuckles on top of the spindle, I had to add spacers. And you see it's a standoff that I added to the bell crank, and that allows the turnbuckle to be even with the arm, and it takes away a lot of the toe out. So now there's a little bit of toe in when it's at full droop, but it's not bad. It's tolerable. And then on down travel, it's a slight, very small toe out, but it's very minimal. You only see a full down travel toe in, which is okay. You know, this car was, you know, a mixed match of parts that were meant to go together. So the fact that I have a little bit of toe in, I'm okay with that. Another thing that I gained by moving the steering linkage to the top of the spindle is more side-to-side lock. You know, this wheel turns a little bit more, and this wheel turns more to the, when you turn in or out, this wheel has more turn. But it's got a pretty good turning radius. I tried it here at the house, and you know, it's got a pretty tight turn radius, which is okay. See how it goes when I test it at RCHR on AstroTurf. Eventually I want to run this on dirt, hopefully in one of the vintage events. Right now, as I look at it, it's got a little bit of towing, which is easily adjustable. Another update that I did to this was somebody suggested to put a turnbuckle here. Before, I used this as a brace that used to be here, but the problem with that is it's not adjustable, and it made everything too tight. The belt was too tight. So what I did to maintain the stiffness of the chassis while allowing me to adjust the tension of the belt was to add a turnbuckle. So I added a turnbuckle as a brace. So if I need to put a little bit more tension, I just turn the turnbuckle. It'll give me a little bit more tension on the belt. That's another thing that somebody suggested. I don't know exactly who the person was, or I can't remember, but it's one of the people on Facebook suggested that, so I did this mod. Another thing that I updated on this was I installed a Avid RC top shaft for the B4, RC10-4, which allows me to run modern spur gears. These are V2 slipper plates, and I'm using modern slipper pads and the heavy duty springs that come in the modern RC10-B6 6.4 and the B74 and the T4, the heavier duty spring. So I mean, this is a RC10-B4 T4 SC10 spur gear, but I can very easily run the modern, you know, off the shelf that they sell right now at the hobby shop spur gear and the Octalock and everything. So yeah, I upgraded that, and you can get a better look of the brace, I guess. You know, since I have plenty of Lunsford turnbuckles, I just use one of them here to brace the chassis, and it also acts as a belt tensioner. And yeah, so this is a little update that I wanted to give you guys of my RC10-4MID. She's pretty much done. There's nothing else that I'm gonna do to this. It's as far as it could go. I might play with different motors depending on how it feels, but other than that, everything is buttoned up. Thank you for following this build. Thank you for the comments. Thank you for the support. Thank you for the likes. And hopefully my next video will be of this car on the track at RCHR on AstroTurf. Lots of slow motion captures. I know a lot of people don't like them, but I like them. So stay tuned. Hopefully by next week I'll be posting a video of this running on AstroTurf. Once again, thanks for watching. Hope you like, comment, share, subscribe, and keep commenting, keep following me on Facebook, and I'll see you in the next one.